Good morning, Kitch. What's up? It's your boy Billy Zuricat, and I am back streaming. It's been a little bit of a break. We took a little break after the tavern style pizza making class. Thankful for everybody who joined that. But today is a very special day. It's a return. Not only return of me streaming on Kitch, it's a return of the Sunday Sandwich series. Okay, it's a big day. There's many big days on the calendar during the year, but the Sunday Sandwich Series return is one of the biggest. If you've been following me since I've been streaming last June, I started something in the fall called the Sunday Sandwich Series to coincide with the NFL season because I was terrified that the Bears were going to stink, my hometown Chicago Bears, and I needed something to get me through Sundays. And I figured a great sandwich would be a great way to do it. So I came up with a different, original, fun sandwich every Sunday, and I ran that through the NFL season. But something has been missing lately. 2023 has been a good year so far for me. It's been fun. I actually tail into 2022, I got engaged, which was huge. And then, moving on with my loving, beautiful fiance, Rachel, like there's been so much good in my life, but something's missing, and it was Sunday sandwiches. So I decided to bring back the Sunday Sandwich series, and it's there for good. So every Sunday, should be 11 a.m. Central Time. I think I'm going to keep it at that, but if I have to change, it'll be there. But every Sunday, we're going to have an original sandwich being made on here. And I'm going to do something that's the first time I didn't do. I'm uploading recipes every time. So the moment the sandwich is uploaded, completed, and on Kitch, I'll get a recipe up as soon as possible. That way you can actually recreate these sandwiches, and it's not just sandwich envy that I put you through the hell last year. So every Sunday Sandwiches is here to stay. You can follow me on Instagram at The Real Billy Z. I'll be posting everything out there as well. Make sure you're following me here on Kitch. Subscribe to my Kitch channel. You can get all my recipes on there and watch all of these videos on demand if you miss them. I am Billy Zuricat. I'm a home cook and baker here from Chicago. Been streaming Kitch for really, I think we're coming up on a year. It might be a year anniversary like very soon, or it may have just passed. I got to double check that. But I've been streaming with Kitch for a while now. And since we've been started, we're kind of growing together, doing a lot of cool things. We finished our Munchie Madness tournament. We did the Rebound Kitchen sponsored by Rotel. Got a lot of good stuff coming up. So hopefully you are subscribing to our different wonderful content creators on here, including myself, and taking in all this awesome content. But a couple things before we start. If you've been watching Kitch streams before, we have the chef's table. There's 8 spots here for you to join in on the fun. You can click on there, turn on your video, and you can join in asking questions, be part of the stream. If you're a little camera shy and you don't want to do that, we have an Ask the Chef section where you can ask me questions along the way, whether it's questions about the sandwich, whether it's questions about my yellow outfit and hat right now, or apron and hat. Feel free to ask away. But today, more importantly, bigger than all of this, we're making sandwiches. And it is the new year, new sandwich, and I'm bringing you something today I'm calling the Lion King. All right? Cue the Lion King music. I wish I had it in the background right now. I can't do it, but we are making a sandwich I'm calling the Lion's King. And the reason it's called the Lion's King because the star of this wonderful sandwich is going to be a lion's mane mushroom. So this is something for my vegetarian friends. I got messaged constantly last year. When make a vegetarian sandwich, make a vegan sandwich, make a vegetarian sandwich. I will make a vegan sandwich at some point, but I figured I should treat my friends and get a nice vegetarian recipe up. And today we're using a lion's mane mushroom. This thing is awesome. Like a little hairy looking mushroom. It's crazy. So this is actually from my friends at 4-Star Mushrooms here in Chicago. They forage awesome mushrooms, all sorts of mushrooms. I used the mushroom medley last week that had oyster mushrooms, had some shiitake mushrooms, and I have a lion's mane mushroom today. The lion's mane mushroom has some benefits. First off, they're foraged from trees. They grow on like dead, basically like I think I was reading earlier, redwood trees. But they are kind of grow at the trunk and base of a tree. And there's benefits to them. They actually help they say there's I don't have all the proof here. I'm just reading from things I've read about it, but there are benefits that it can actually help grow new brain cells, helps with depression and anxiety, helps promote gut health, and it's good for your heart. So I almost call this sandwich the Sunday scaries because it could take back some of the depression, anxieties, and the scaries you get through on a Sunday. Like I usually have around 4 to 5 p.m. every Sunday, getting ready for the work week. But the taste wise, these mushrooms are awesome substitutes for meat because it actually has a really meaty texture, and you actually see it used as a substitute for seafood because it has kind of a seafoody taste. It's interesting. So I've seen uses for this for lion's mane mushrooms where you just kind of sear them, treat them like meat, put them in pastas and different dishes. I've seen them battered and deep fried and turned into chicken sandwiches. Today, we are going to do something a little bit different. We're basically going to make a riff on a chicken parm in a way. We're going to treat it like a chicken parm where we're slicing them kind of thin, doing a traditional chicken parmesan breading with flour, egg wash, or egg yolk, and seasoned breadcrumbs, Italian breadcrumbs, and we're going to fry it, shallow fry it in a pan in some neutral oil, and we're going to build a great sandwich. As every sandwich show we do here, I tell you, if you watch the Sunday sandwiches before, I take these things seriously, and there's so many different elements to a sandwich that make it. You can't just throw together a bunch of stuff and say this is a great sandwich. You have to really think about each element, whether it's the bread, the condiments, the protein, or whatever the main feature of the sandwich is, and then any accoutrement and everything. You got to really kind of think it. And sometimes people just like, especially I'm going to get in my soapbox here. One of the things I can't stand about social media right now, food social media especially, is the amount of food bros making sandwiches and slapping together, slamming things on boards, and just putting a bunch of ingredients that like may seem cool because they're just slamming it down, whatever. But then they use the wrong bread every single time. They use bread that will destroy the roof of your mouth, and you can actually see them take a bite of it or slice it, and everything falls out of the sandwich. There is an art to sandwich making. You have to kind of think about every different aspect to it, and one of which is kind of like structure, keeping things together. And so I try to plan these things out. So we're going to obviously bread and fry our mushrooms. The bread we're using today is a Giardiniera spiced focaccia that I made this morning. So this is quick focaccia, really easy recipe. I'm going to put this on the recipe as well. But this is like a no-knead focaccia, basically. 24 hours later, you have this beautiful airy bread. And I just seasoned it with a little Giardiniera seasoning here, which you can get from tasterealchicago.com. It's for my friend JP Graziano here in Chicago. But basically, he took all the flavors of Giardiniera. So I've talked about that numerous times if you follow any of my streams here. But Giardiniera is basically an array of pickled vegetables, whether it's pepper, it's usually peppers, carrots, could be cauliflower, celery, olives, whatnot. They're pickled vegetables and then are preserved in oil. So olive oil or something like sunflower oil. It's used on all sorts of things. Italian beef sandwiches is like the main thing, used on regular sub sandwiches. I use on pizza all the time. This stuff goes with everything. He basically made a seasoning blend, which gives those flavors. So it's going to have dry green bell pepper, red bell pepper, celery, carrot, sea salt, vinegar powder, and spices. I just, once I made my focaccia, I just dimpled it after it kind of rose, put a little olive oil on it, sprinkle it with this seasoning, and then some Maldon salt. I understand that you may not have this, access to this in your city, may not want to order it. The topping of the focaccia, you can do whatever you feel. You can keep it simple and just put salt on there. If you want to do roasted garlic, go with that. Go with whatever you have. It's just, I like that touch to it. I was actually going to put actual Giardiniera on there, but I didn't want to get too oily, so I just kind of kept it simple. But the bread we're using today, again, focaccia. And if you don't want to bake your own focaccia, just go to a local bakery, support a local bakery, and get some great focaccia from them, and save yourself some time. But we are using focaccia as the bread of choice. Protein, we already know we're using the lion's mane mushroom. And then we're going to create a little salsa verde. And that's what actually I want to start with today. So we're doing an Italian, like a riff on an Italian salsa verde. This is not by any means fully traditional, but I wanted something on the sandwich that was going to give it a little acid, a little brightness, to kind of cut the little, the fried mushroom and the cheese and sauce we're going to have on there. So we are going to make a quick salsa verde, and it's a little unique version though. So a salsa verde in Italian salsa verde is much different than like a salsa verde for if you were getting like a Mexican salsa verde or even like a chimichurri. It's very herby, herb based. So it's usually made with parsley, chopped parsley, lemon juice, capers. Sometimes there's hard boiled eggs in them, sardines, and just salt. So it gives you brininess, some acid, and some herby flavor, and then it's preserved in some olive oil. So it's a green sauce. I'm doing a little different version of it today. So I'm going to have parsley in there, but I'm using ramps. So this is another thing that you can kind of get during this time of year with foraging. So a ramp, if you're unfamiliar, I'll grab one of these, is in the family. It's essentially like a wild leek, wild garlic, wild leek, wild onions in that family. These are basically I would say like it's a pair of Jordan 1s for chefs, meaning there's so much hype around it and they need to have them, especially this time of year, because they only are really, they're available. They're here in the Chicagoland area. You can find them in different areas. I think they grow in like upstate New York as well too. But there's different spots throughout the country where you can get ramps. But there is such a limited window. It's a spring. It's a spring. They're grown. They come out in spring basically. Which one is I can't speak right now. But they take like 6-7 years to mature. So it takes a while for them to kind of come through. And when you get them, you have these. Let me pull one out actually here. So these are foraged, and hopefully they're ethically foraged because you don't want it to disturb the ecosystem here. And then by just cutting them out, you typically want to just cut and keep the roots in the ground so they can continuously grow. You kind of just snip out the leaves and the stems. So you have a bright green leaf, a pink, like beautiful, like pinkish hueish stem, and then the bulbs are white. So you treat it essentially like how you would treat an onion or garlic. There's so many ways to do it. It's very versatile. You can char this whole thing and throw it in a dish. I love ramps and eggs. I think Brad Leone from Bon Appetit today just made like a ramp and egg omelet that he was doing this morning. You can use this for pestos. I've actually just made a pizza. It's on my Instagram called Forager. Used some mushrooms last week and made a ramp pesto out of it. Really simple ramp pesto with some walnuts or pistachios. The ramp leaves, I use the ramp bulbs. I actually just cook them and sear them off a little bit in the pan to actually caramelize them a little bit to just get some different flavors to them. But they're very, very versatile. We are going to use the leaves only. So we're going to essentially make a ramp salsa verde with parsley, some leaf and then some of the ramp leaves. So I'll take you through this process. We'll get that together and going right now. But ramps are really good. So if you don't have them around you, I think if you go to like most non-chain restaurants, if you go to a local, farm to table restaurants, you're going to find something ramp related on menus. Chefs love them, and it's just a short window to get them, and they're worth the hype. They're awesome. And so you can catch them usually at farmers markets as well. So let's make a salsa verde. So this is going to be pretty simple, pretty straightforward. So did a lot of this chopping and everything ahead of time. So we're going to take, this is about 2 tablespoons of just chopped up ramp leaves, washed, dried, and I just chopped them up. We're going to take in some Italian parsley, same thing, about 2 tablespoons. And now we want to add in some capers. This is about a teaspoon of capers, chopped up, just drained and then chopped up. This is going to give you little briny pops, salty pops in this salsa verde. And then I'm going to take some more acid here. Let me just get a little towel. So we have some lemon. I'm going to zest this lemon first. Take a little lemon zest out of here. So just gonna. This will probably be maybe a half a teaspoon or so. Just kind of eyeball it. I'm basically doing one little lap around the lemon. All right. Then I want to. This is not traditional. Like I said, this is not traditional. This is very. It's a. Let's say it's a salsa-ish verde. Okay. This is some chopped Calabrian chilies from Divina. I want a little heat in here, so I'm going to just take a spoonful of these chopped Calabrian chilies and get that in there. Let's cut this lemon up and we'll get some juice. Okay, juice of half a lemon. And let's get some salt. Some kosher salt, big pinch of kosher salt. And some black pepper. My pepper shaker. Where is my pepper? Pepper. Where did my pepper go? There it is. Okay, fresh ground black pepper. And then lastly, we want to cover this up in some extra virgin olive oil. So this is probably about a half cup. Now let's just get this mixed up. So that's what we're looking at. Really bright green. Taste it. Yeah. That's awesome. So really bright, very tart. The ramps you get a strong garlic taste without actually having garlic in there. You're just having the ramps. You get a ton of brininess from the capers, and then I probably put a little bit too much Calabrian chili in there, but it's really, really good. Gives it some heat. And so let's get this. Let's just let this marinate here. Set to the side, and let's work on our lion's mane. So get this over here. All right. So with our lion's mane mushroom, we need to really just get them sliced up, and then we're going to set up a breading station. So I'm going to take this mushroom. I'm going to get it flat. I want to basically I'm not going to pound this out like you would normally, you would pound out a chicken breast so you can create a chicken cutlet, and you want to have as much surface area so you can get it cooked. I don't want this to be too thick. So I'm probably doing like 1-inch slices, and I'm just going to get down maybe even 1/4 inch, just a little thinner. Okay. My other one here. All right. So got our mushrooms sliced up now. What we need to do is set up our breading. And like I said before, I'm just using a traditional breading station for that you use for chicken parmesan or any type of like cutlet, basically. So I'm really excited Sunday sandwiches are back. It's like America's healing right now. I feel like I've been missing this really, really, really badly. So what we need to do is set up a breading station. So set up 3 bowls, 3 plates. I'm just using these plates. The first one is going to be some all-purpose flour. We got about, just obviously eyeballing this, but this will probably be a cup, maybe a cup and a half of flour. Okay, so we need to season this flour to impart a little seasoning on the inside, so we can actually season the mushroom itself. And then the outside will have some coating. Italian breadcrumbs will be flavored as well. But take a big pinch of salt, some black pepper. Now, I would use the Giardiniera seasoning that I have, but I figure that's just not going to be, not everybody's going to have that. So I'm just using a little Italian seasoning, okay? We're going to put in about a tablespoon of Italian seasoning. Get that seasoned up. Grab my whisk here. Okay, so that's the first station. Second one, we're going to take 2 eggs. Real easy, just crack these eggs. All right, we're going to whisk those up as well. Just want to get this, no white streaks, just to really just get this scrambled, incorporated. This is what's going to help those breadcrumbs adhere to the mushroom. All right, and then the last station we're going to have are, like I said, Italian breadcrumbs. So you can use panko if you want. I just like the texture of. I tested this yesterday, and it was crispy enough with regular breadcrumbs. It didn't need panko to it, but you can do a mix of both if you really want. If you want extra crispy, but there's kind of no need. All right, so now what we're gonna do. Here's a little plate for a landing spot. But we're gonna go wet hand, dry hand. So let me put back here. You can see this. Give me a second here. Get a good angle for you. All right. So start off by taking one of our mushroom planks, cutlets, whatever you want to call them. Get it coated in flour, all sides. Try to get the edges, make sure everything's completely coated, okay? And then shake off the excess. Now switching to my other hand here, I'm going to drop that in. Get this completely coated in the egg. Make sure, again, try to get every spot of this mushroom, all edges. And now drop this into the breadcrumbs. And so I'm going to coat the top of it first. And now what I want to do is press into this. That way it adheres really well. Flip it over, get the other side. Press down the sides. Really just want to make sure that every spot is coated well in breadcrumbs. Just press. Give it a little press, and there you go. Okay. Make sure a couple spots were a little white, and that's why you want to make sure you have enough egg on this, just so you get it completely covered. All right, and I'll just have that resting on the plate and just repeat into the flour. Coat it really well, and then excess, drop that into the egg. I'm very proud of myself too with this wet hand, dry hand. I usually just kind of give up halfway through the first one. I'll forget, and I'll just end up just covered in breadcrumb hands for the rest of the time. But I have an emergency here because I can actually feel my sleeve is falling into this, and we have a broken mushroom. Okay, this mushroom broke, but no big deal. We're just going to get that in the breadcrumbs. We'll have little guys, so we'll just coat these up really quickly. like I said, you just want to got to be delicate with these too. This is not chicken. They can fall apart. These mushrooms, pretty soft. So that's what this one kind of just broke apart. But no big deal. We'll just use other ones. Gonna have a lot of mushrooms here today. All right, get that in there. Get this little guy. Have a little nuggie. We got lion's mane nuggies. Should I do that next week? Lion's mane nuggie po' boy. I'm always thinking of these. I have so many sandwiches waiting. Just get ready, by the way. I have sandwiches galore planned out. And one thing I like to do, I feel like there's so much, everything, I feel like a lot of things are the same right now in the food world. So I try to like bring different takes on stuff. You know, I'm not reinventing food in any way, but I like to just bring something fresh and something different. Maybe a sandwich that you've actually had before, or like something you heard of, but maybe brought to you in a different way, different ingredients, different methods, something different. Because it's just, I feel like it's like the real Slim Shady video. There's so many freaking clones out there nowadays, and it does just give you something fresh. Nobody wants to see the same smash burger every day and the same. Everybody's doing chopped cheeses. It's like same stuff. Nashville hot every day. I can't. If I see another Nashville hot chicken sandwich, I mean, it's ridiculous. All right. And I just did right there what I just said I wasn't going to do. I gave up on the wet hand, dry hand. So whatever. Actually works better. Try to be clean, but sometimes you just got to get your hands dirty. It's what they make soap and water for. All right. Just aggressively pressing this. So there you go. Again, I'm going to do one more. I want to get one more like perfectly flat one. Yeah, this one looks good. Again, sometimes these mushrooms, you got to be careful when they're all going to be, obviously they're foraged. They're going to be, there's no two that are going to be the same. But you want to try to find one. If you're at the store and you have a choice of kind of picking the one you want, try to find a fat one that's wide enough where you can actually get clean like plank slices out of it, because sometimes they're just awkward and there's too many ridges and it's not easy to do. So get the last one in here. And obviously, if you don't want mushrooms and you just want to make this sandwich and use chicken cutlets, use pork cutlets. It's going to work the same. I just want to do something a little different, change it up. Like I said, I had to hook up my vegetarian friends. They were asking for sandwiches. They say, Billy, you're all about the beef. You're all about the chicken. You're making all these pork sandwiches. Help us out. Hook us up. Okay. All right. So I got those bread. Let me just wash my hands. Yeah, I really should have had gloves. I ran out of kitchen gloves, like rubber gloves, or vinyl gloves, I should say, latex gloves. They're the best because I just throw them away. But I had to go with my full-on breadcrumb hands. All right, so we're good now. Move this out of the way. Clean this off for a second. Okay, so now we have our mushrooms breaded. Our salsa verde is ready. We already have our bread. We're going to be topping the sandwich each after they come out of the oil and they're ready to go. We are going to just cover it in a little bit of marinara and then put on some mozzarella cheese that we're just going to put it in a broiler. Throw it in your oven if you want. If you set your oven at 400, or just actually really just put it on a broiler for 3-4 minutes, you're probably good. I'm just going to use a kitchen torch. It's easier. These are small. I'm not going to have much. And also, I have a kitchen torch that I rarely use. So any opportunity I have to torch something, I'm going to do it. So what we're going to do now is get these going here. So on the stove top, I'm just using a non-stick. You can use a cast iron. Just use a small guy here. Over medium heat. I'm using grapeseed oil today. You can use olive oil if you want. Make sure it's just regular olive oil, not extra virgin. Extra virgin olive oil will start, if it gets way too hot, it'll end up smoking and burning, and then you'll have like a really off-putting taste to it. So I'm using a neutral oil, just using grapeseed oil today. Feel free to use what you want, but try to stay away. I used extra virgin olive oil yesterday. It wasn't the best. Started smoking, and it tastes okay, but I just didn't. You're better off using a neutral oil. And then I forgot to mention, so I'm using just a basic marinara. I made this. I had this in the fridge. This is nothing special, but simple marinara with onions. So a quarter of an onion diced, 3 garlic cloves diced. Cook those down. Add a little chili flake, some oregano, and then add a 28-ounce can of San Marzano tomatoes. Bring that to a boil. Reduce it to a simmer and let it just simmer for about 15-20 minutes. And you have a simple marinara. So we're just going to use a basic one. You can also use store-bought if you're in a pinch and don't feel like making your own. Just use store-bought. Nothing wrong with it. I actually like to do sometimes, like I do it with pizza sauce a lot. If I'm in a hurry, if I need to make a pizza and I just don't feel like making sauce, what I'll do is I'll buy a pre-made sauce from a store, but then I'll taste it and I'll beef it or plus it up, to steal a line from Barry at Sandwiches of History. I'll plus it up. I'll add some extra salt, some olive oil, maybe some other seasonings to it to give it a boost, and it just kind of saves you time. And it works in a pinch. So we don't always have time to put through and make everything from scratch as much as we want to. I like to do it, but if you can use shortcuts, use shortcuts. It's Sunday. It's a chill. You don't have to work all day. It's Sabbath. All right. So we're going to get this over here. Bread, which is out of the way. All right. There we go. I need like 15 cameras. I want to have a kitchen, and one day we're going to get there, kitchen. Okay. You got to fake it till you make it sometimes. Okay. But I want to have like a camera here, camera up top, so you can see the top. I have all this. I wanted cameras like everywhere. Not always turned on, but I want to have all the cameras. I want to be big brother in this house. All right. So you can check the temp. I can kind of just put my hand over it. I can kind of tell that it's pretty warm there. So I'm going to go ahead and get one in. And then just, yep. Get a little sizzle. So we're going to let that cook. We're probably going to cook these for about 2.5, maybe 3 minutes each side. We're just going to flip it over. We just want a golden brown. You're not cooking chicken here. You don't have to worry about it, cooking. It's going to cook through. It's a mushroom. It's going to cook through them pretty quickly. So you don't need to go nuts here and, cook it 5 minutes aside like you're cooking a chicken breast or a chicken thigh. So we're going to let that go. In the meantime, I'm going to get my bread cut up too. So I'm just using focaccia, like I said, a bread knife. I'm going to split this just right down the middle here. You can hear that bread. I mean, this is a freaking beautiful focaccia. I mean, I'm telling you that, guys. I can't wait to give you this recipe because it's so simple. It's like the easiest bread recipe. So if you're new to bread making, you're like worried about it, there's no need. All right. I think I should probably get 2 in there. I don't know why I just did 1. Scooch that over. Get a little extra oil in here. All right, so over medium heat, just let that cook. Put these extra ones aside. And as soon as we get it out, I have a wire rack set up. Always, if you're frying anything, this is not deep frying it, but you're frying everything in general, have a wire rack set up. I use a sheet pan, put a little aluminum foil at the bottom or parchment paper, just something to catch the oil. It's dripping, or paper towels are totally fine too. And then I have a wire rack set up because you want to let air flow. If you're ever frying anything, or even baking bread, making a pizza, I've talked about it with my pizza streams, my cooking class. If you're making anything that's going to end up being crispy, the number one killer of a crispy dish is a cutting board or a plate. If you take it as soon as it's done, you just put it on a plate or a board, it's going to start to steam, and that crispiness you got, that crust that you developed, is going to sog. And you don't want to do that. There's no point. You just wasted your time. So the wire rack promotes airflow and lets it, lets it breathe basically, and ends up being crispy, or staying crispy, I should say. So let's just check this. Yep. All right, just to bring it closer. Got some good color. So that one's, I'm gonna flip that one. And I'll have to do the annoying run the knife over the side to just show you that it's crispy, but you can trust me, it is very crispy. So let's get this one cooking on the other side. That one will catch up in a second. You can kind of tell if you just kind of peek. You can kind of just like peek at the sides of the mushroom. You can kind of tell where it's browning. The browning starts to come up. You can tell it's there. But easily just pull it out, flip it. It's not like you're searing a steak or anything. You're not going to ruin something by like flipping it and taking a little sneak peek. You just drop back in the oil. Check the other one out. A little early on that one. All right, let those sit. And then if there are any sandwiches that you'd like to see me make, or ingredients you'd like me to see me use to make a sandwich, feel free, leave it in the comments here. Shoot me a DM on Instagram, The Real Billy Z. Message me out there. I'm going to crowdsource some ideas as the year goes on in sandwich making. I will have different themes and such. I'm going to run through all my ideas that I have, because I have so many in the queue ready to go. I think you're going to love it. I got some really fun ones coming. I'm really excited. Like, I want to spill the beans and then share all the ones I have, but I'm paranoid and I want to give out the ideas because I've already seen some of my sandwiches recreated and put out somewhere else without credit. So I want to make sure that, make sure that I'm the one debuting these sandwiches, not other people. So, all right. So this one, first one's looking pretty good. Other side, still a little light. This one should be ready to flip. Yeah. Okay. So you could also, if you need it, I kind of don't need to do it with these. They look kind of good, but if you want, just take a spoon, tilt your pan, and just baste it with oil. If you have any like light spots or blonde spots that you want to get a little more color that missed it, you can do this just like you're butter basting a steak. That will just ensure that you have even color around. But with these, they're going to be coated. They're going to be coated in marinara, and there's cheese on top. You're not going to see it anyway. So you just want to make sure that you have a good color, good crisp, and you'll be good. I'm actually going to kill my heat here because I know I'm toward the end of this. So get that down, and then I have my wire rack ready. Make up my salt. You want to salt these as soon as they come out, just to give it a little extra seasoning on the exterior. And that's it. So here's this. Here's the first one. Crispy on both sides. Let the oil drain off. Get it on the wire rack. Hit it with a little salt. And then check the second. Second one still needs actually. Let's turn that on just a little bit. Probably another minute in this one. And then, yeah, we're going to get to the building. I can't wait to build this baby. I'm trying to think how big I want to go in the focaccia here. I cut this. This is going to be a big sandwich. I have this, like, this is half of a focaccia, but maybe I'll just do that and split it. Yeah, I'll probably do that Sunday. Treat yourself. I've been doing good all week. I've made my return to the basketball court. So if you're following me, you know me in real life. you know that basketball was one of my favorite activities for a long time. I played basketball my whole life. About 9 years ago, I started having issues where I was losing my balance and falling. 2 years ago, I was diagnosed with what's called limb-girdle muscular dystrophy. It's a very rare form of muscular dystrophy that breaks down the muscles in your legs. So I no longer can run or jump or anything. It's changed my life. I have a permanent disability now. I've talked about it here before. But I realized in the past like 6 to 8 months that I can actually still shoot around and play basketball. I can't run or jump, but I can just shoot stationary shots. And I found a gym that has open gym access, and I started going last Saturday, and I've been there 6 times this week. I get up every day at like 5 a.m. and I go shoot around for an hour. I've been working out, trying to get myself in better shape and take care of myself. But I just forgot how much I love the basketball court and how much I love basketball. But now I can play it. It's different. It's not the same, just shooting and stuff. But I'm waddling around after the ball like a little penguin. But it's fun, and I am so happy. I actually went this morning. I was all nervous because I knew that I had the stream at 11. I had stuff I need to get ready for it, but I really, really wanted to play. So I got up at 5:30, got to the gym at 6:30 in the morning. I'm all ready, go to open the door, and it's locked because they don't open until 7. But got in there at 7, shot around for 45 minutes, and I'm happy. So it was great. Our mushrooms are ready to go. Let's build a sandwich. So we're going to drop this down and bring this over. Actually, before we build, we're not ready yet. I forgot. Got a torch. It's torch time. Move this bread over for a second. So, all right. I wish you could, here, you can see the smiling face. I am very happy right now because I'm going to the torch. So, what we want to do is line up our lion's mane mushrooms for our Lion King sandwich. Take a little bit of our marinara, and we're going to big spoonful on each, and then spread that around, edge to edge. Okay. This is whole milk mozzarella, shredded. You can use sliced if you want. Shredded is just easier, I think. I had some anyway, so with the amount of pizza that I make. Don't go too heavy on it. I just taken like a tablespoon of each, maybe a little bit more. And now, guys, it's torch time. So again, if you don't have a kitchen torch, just set your broiler up. You can use your broiler if you want to store it in the oven itself. If you don't have a broiler, want to turn your broiler on, set your oven at like 400 and have it in there for about 5-10 minutes. It should melt it and do the job. I could actually put these. I didn't think about this. I could easily put these in my pizza oven outside. That would work too. But we're torching. So just want to get this melted and start to have some of the brown spots that we have on here from the cheese caramelizing. So just kind of running it through. I tell you what, it's so satisfying. This was an anniversary gift. This kitchen torch last year. My fiance Rachel got it for me. I think she knew I wanted one really badly. And then the funniest thing was we ended up getting this. I got this torch, and I was all excited to have this torch, and I just wanted to start torching everything I could. And I ended up saying, "Oh, let's make creme brulee lattes." And I started torching sugar in a glass mug, a coffee mug, and as I'm torching it, all of a sudden, the glass just breaks. I just torched the ceramic glass. So I within minutes of having a torch, I broke something. So it was there was a little period where I was afraid to use the kitchen torch because I was afraid it was going to break everything. But a little bit more on this, and we should be good. But yeah, be careful when you're using kitchen torch. Please do not torch ceramic mugs. It's probably the best move for you. All right, so that's good. and I'll get that, show you how they look here in a second. See that? Melted and got some charred spots, caramelization on there as well. So now, my friends, we build a sandwich. And I'm actually going to cut this focaccia in half. So what I'll do is probably stack these. Let's see. Gonna take the width. Yeah, I'm gonna cut these in half. So I'm gonna split this in half here. Just makes sense. I don't want to go too big. So what we're gonna do is build this baby. So we're gonna start on bottom piece of focaccia. I don't need the toast. This is fresh. I'd prefer to have crunch on the bottom and a soft texture here. So we're not going to mess with that. I'm going to put a little bit more of this marinara, just a small spoonful. Okay. On goes our cutties. We do double? Yeah, let's do doubles. Are we doing doubles? Yeah, let's do doubles. We're going to double stack those babies. Make this a big boy. Again, it's Sunday. And real quick. All right. Now, our salsa verde. Our ramp salsa verde. So ramps, parsley, capers, lemon juice, Calabrian chilies, lemon juice, salt, pepper, and olive oil, obviously. Get that spread around top. That's it. Let's go ahead. Let's see what that side is. Make sure I get even. All right. Look at this. Press this down a little bit. Get a little squeezy. There's a Lion's King sandwich. Let's give this a little cut. Cross section. Look at that. Screenshot that baby. All right, and then of course we must taste test. All right, I got some flack last year. My Sunday sandwiches, like the first few weeks that I did them, I did not taste on camera. And there was a reasoning behind that. I did not want to, I need to take photos of this after to post a thumbnail, post it on my social media and such, because I just didn't want to make a bunch of sandwiches. It was just me. I didn't want to, I didn't want to waste them. And people are like, you're not eating your sandwich. Like, that's weird. You got to taste it. You got to taste it. So I'm like, all right, fine. I'm going to start making double. I'll make more sandwiches every time. So with that being said, look at that. Holy, look at that baby. And also, tell me that doesn't look like a chicken parm. It's vegetarian. It's completely vegetarian. So let's get in here. Giardiniera Focaccia, lion's mane mushrooms, marinara, salsa verde, ramp salsa verde. Sunday sandwiches. Cheers. This is week 1 of the new year. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's so good. So, again, the texture of that lion's mane mushroom really does taste like chicken. I'm not saying that. Like, I know that a lot of times you'll say, oh, that tastes like, if you use a vegetarian substitute, that tastes like chicken or tastes like meat, whatever. No, it really does. It has a really meaty texture. And you get all the things that you love about a chicken parmesan, the crispy exterior, crunchy, salty. You got the tomatoes, the marinara sauce, melty cheese, obviously. But that salsa verde is the kicker. You get the bright, pungent flavor of a ramp. parsley, herby, lemon juice, brininess of the capers, and that helps cut through all the richness of this. And then this focaccia, like I said, is fresh and crisp. I made it an hour ago, so it's wonderful. So this is the Lion King sandwich. I will post up a recipe probably within the next like 24 hours or so. Just look for it on there. You'll see it posted here on Kitch. Upload some photos and such. But again, every Sunday, this is Billy Z's Sunday Sandwich Series. You're gonna want to tune in. The planned time is going to be 11 a.m. Central Time. You can obviously watch these on demand if you can't catch me live. If you have any sandwiches you'd like to see me make, leave it in the comments. You can leave it on my page, on my Kitch channel. Follow me on Instagram, The Real Billy Z. Message me on there, DM me and say, hey, I want this sandwich. I need you to make a version of this, whatever it is. But again, every Sunday, we're here to make sandwiches and plus up your sandwich game. So I am Billy Zuricat. Thank you for joining me. Hope you guys can make the Lion King sandwich and have a hell of a Sunday. I'll talk to you soon.